The first morning after my wedding, I heard the knock before I saw the clock. It was still dark outside, the kind of dark that makes you question whether sleep even happened. My phone glowed 3:58 a.m. before I could turn it face down again. The knock came once more, sharp and impatient. "Get up," my mother-in-law called through the door. "Guests are coming." Guests. On my second day as a bride. I slipped out of bed quietly, careful not to wake my husband. He'd worked late the night before hosting relatives, who had arrived without warning, and I didn't want to start the day with an argument. I wrapped a shawl around my shoulders and opened the door. My mother-in-law stood there fully dressed, hair neat, already in command of the day. "There are 20 people," she said, as if reading from a list. "Breakfast must be ready by 6. Lunch preparations should start immediately after." I waited for the punchline. Surely she was joking. But her face didn't change. "I've never cooked for 20 people alone," I said carefully. "Maybe we can order something? Or everyone can help." Her eyebrows lifted just enough to show disapproval. "In this house, the daughter-in-law cooks. This is how it's done." That's when something inside me went very quiet. I nodded, because that was easier than arguing at 4 in the morning. I went to the kitchen, turned on the lights, and stared at the counters piled with vegetables, flour, and pots I didn't recognize. My hands moved on autopilot, washing rice, chopping onions, while my mind raced. By 5 o'clock, the house was awake. Doors slammed, voices echoed, children ran through the hallway. No one came into the kitchen to help. Instead, relatives peeked in to comment. "Add more oil. This bread looks too thin." In our family, we serve 3 dishes, not 2. Each comment landed like a small stone, piling up on my chest. At 6, breakfast was served. 20 people sat down. 20 plates were filled. I stood to the side, exhausted, waiting for anyone to say thank you. Instead, my mother-in-law leaned over and whispered, "Lunch must be better. Important guests are staying." That was the moment I made my plan. Not a loud plan. Not a dramatic one. A quiet, careful plan. After breakfast, while the others rested, I went to our room and woke my husband. I told him everything, what time I was woken, what was expected, how alone I felt in that kitchen. I didn't cry. I didn't raise my voice. I just spoke. He rubbed his face, still half asleep, then sat up fully. "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" "Because I wanted to see if this was a misunderstanding," I said. "It's not." He promised to talk to his mother. I thanked him, but I didn't stop there. I knew conversations could fade. Traditions had a way of winning unless something changed. So I changed the rules politely. At 9, I walked back into the kitchen and began preparing. Lunch, slowly, carefully. When my mother-in-law came in to supervise, I smiled and asked questions. How many dishes exactly? Who are the important guests? What time should everything be served? She answered, pleased by my interest. Then I said, to do this properly every day, I'll need help. I've made a list. I handed her a paper. On it were names, hers, my husband's sisters, 2 cousins, and even an aunt who loved giving instructions. Next to each name was a simple task: chopping, kneading, serving, cleaning. Her smile faded. In my time, I did everything alone, she said. I respect that, I replied. But times change. I want to do this with love, not resentment. If I'm alone every day, I'll burn out. And that won't be good for anyone. She didn't answer right away. Lunch was served, on time, well cooked, enough for everyone. This time, my husband made sure to thank me in front of the guests. A few others followed. It wasn't much, but it mattered. That evening, when more relatives arrived unexpectedly, my mother-in-law hesitated before speaking. We'll make something simple, she said. Everyone can help. It wasn't an apology. It wasn't a full victory. But the next morning, no one knocked on my door at 4 a.m. Instead, I woke up to sunlight, not commands. The kitchen still waited, and so did family expectations. But now, they waited with me, not on me. And that was the plan all along.